welcome to Jeff's Computer Lab. Today we're going to be installing some upgrades in my main computer. I bought most of these parts quite a while ago, and I'm glad I did because the prices just seem to keep going up and up. So I'm glad I bought them when I did. But these upgrades are a little bit overdue. We're going to be installing a 2 terabyte NVMe SSD and adding that into the mix. Also, I have 2 of these Seagate IronWolf 4 terabyte hard drives that I'm going to install and put into a RAID for some extra, just larger storage. And the main upgrade is this Sapphire Pulse 9070 XT graphics card that will be replacing my 3080 10 gigabyte card. I'm also going to be cleaning out the case, blowing out the dust. Haven't done that in a little while, and just kind of doing a overall maintenance on the computer. So let's get to it. So let me just show you what I got going on here. There's my MSI 3080. We're going to be replacing that with the 9070 XT. This has a MSI Carbon Z690 motherboard with a Intel i7 13700K, 32 gigs of DDR5 RAM. This is the Corsair 7000D, I believe. I think so. I don't remember. Pretty sure. 740 mil intake fans, one really big exhaust fan, and then a 420 mil top mounted radiator. Keeps things pretty cool. 850 watt power supply by Corsair. So that's it. You can see it's looking a little dusty in there, so we will get that taken care of, get this GPU swapped out. Another thing is, at one point I added a new NVMe drive in one of these slots down here. There is 2 more slots behind the graphics card. I didn't want to remove the card at the time. I just wanted some more storage. But I put it in a PCIe Gen 3 slot. So we're going to be moving that and installing the other drive that I got in the other slot behind the graphics card while we have that out. So there we go. All right, got the card out. Here it is. Very cool card. Honestly, worked great for me, but it was time for an upgrade. When I opened the case up, it had this stuck to the glass, so that's been on there for 2 years. That's great. All right, let's blow this thing out. Nothing like the smell of computer dust. Probably not good for you. Show you what I got going on here. These are my intakes. These are some Noctua Redux fans. Went with those to save some money, but I don't know. Kind of thinking I should swap them out. Spend the money now and get some black ones. What do you think? Leave it down in the comments. Should I buy some black fans for my intake here? Anyway, it's got this nice mesh dust filter. Then this one's like just built into the side panel here. So there's all my cables. Not too bad cable management, but could be worse. You can't see it when it's on this side. So that's okay. Looks pretty good. Using this WOLFBOX. I don't know. Cheap Amazon thing. I was a little bit skeptical, but this works awesome. I used to always just use the cans of spray. All these covers come off. All right, let's get the SSD swapped out. I'm gonna use my Klein screwdriver. If it ain't Klein, it ain't mine. Right. Oh, I need a smaller screwdriver. Klein precision screwdriver. All right. Well, that one just came right out. Oops. Whoops. Gotta be careful. These are expensive now. So that's my Gen 3 slot. So I'm going to move this up to a faster slot. Let me just close this back up. Oh. I do have a WD black in there, but that one's a Gen 4 speed slot. This one is Gen 3. So I have the Hexabyte Emerald and the Team Group MP44L. I already had this one in. I just moved it, but yeah. So I'm going to have to remove this whole rack of fans to get to my hard drives. So I'll go ahead and do that. All right, so I currently have a 2 terabyte Western Digital Black, but that's from my original Haswell build. So it's like 12 years old. So I think it's time to retire it. Still seems to be fine and passed disk test and all that, but I'm not really relying on it for anything anymore. And then the other is a 4 terabyte Seagate Barracuda. So I'll probably move this down and then put the two new drives up here. Yep, there it is. Manufactured 19th of November 2013. So yeah, it's pretty old at this point. These new IronWolf drives are like half the weight and almost half as tall as this old Western Digital Black. These were really good hard drives back in the day. Okay, drives installed. All right, here I have them on top of each other, and you can see they're about the same length. But the new Sapphire card is a triple slot, so it's going to take up more room in there. Yeah. All right, we got it in. Came with this nice bracket to help support it, but I also have this little post here to prevent sag, so looks pretty good. Switching from Team Green to Team Red. Yeah, a lot of different reasons I bought this, but yeah, looks good. I am going to replace this off my modular power supply to just a a single. So I'll go ahead and do that. Okay, there we go. Got it all back together. Got it plugged in. Let's plug everything in and get into Windows. All right, got the card running. Just gonna run a few 3D Mark benchmark tests, just make sure it's running right, no issues. So once that's done, I'll show the results of that. This card doesn't have any RGB on it, which is, I guess, kind of a bummer, but I didn't really care about it anyway. At least I thought I didn't care, but now that I see it's running and there's no lights on it, it's a little bit sad, but yeah, I'll be all right. I do hear a slight ticking. I think it's probably the hard drives trying to start up. I'll probably do a different video getting those set up in a RAID. There's the results of the first test I did. Slightly below average, which is kind of disappointing to see, but could be a driver issue. I'm not sure I got all the NVIDIA drivers out. Looks like it was getting up to, what is this, 85 degrees towards the end. I care about that. Let's turn some temperature monitoring on and keep an eye on that. All right, I did confirm the sound is coming from the hard drive, so I'm not sure if they're just trying to boot up or it's just like the sound of a hard drive trying to start up. All right, I'm running the Firestrike Ultra test, which I know is DirectX 11, so probably not the best test for this, but it's what I have on 3D Mark. So I'm just gonna keep an eye on the temperature here and see how high it gets. This one finished once again a little bit below average, which, all right, looks like hotspot got up to 84 degrees Celsius, so I think that's fine. Might have to tinker around with the settings. Maybe I can get a little better score in these 3D marks. There are other 3D Mark tests that I could buy and run. I don't currently have them. The reviews on them are not great, so I don't think I'm going to buy them, at least not at full price. It is what it is. I guess let me know if you think I should be buying them and running them, or if I should be worried about these scores. I found this DDU by Wangersoft, whatever. This will uninstall all the drivers from your graphics card, and then you can have a clean slate to install the new drivers, so there's no interference between the two. So I went ahead, downloaded that, ran it, and got a clean install of the AMD drivers. So now we have a clean install of AMD Adrenalin. So we'll see if that changes anything. The other thing is this is just a stock card. I can overclock it. I probably won't, just because this is way more power than I need anyway, but that's probably why my 3D Mark scores are lower than they could be. Also, I set up my two 4TB drives into a RAID 1 using the Windows Storage Spaces software. I decided to go that route instead of through the BIOS. That way it'll work if I ever change motherboards or anything in the system, but it only works in Windows, so that's kind of the downside of that. But that did stop the clicking, and they seem to be running fine now. I'm running the 3D Mark Time Spy demo again after running that DDU driver uninstaller and making sure I had a clean install of the AMD drivers. So we'll see if that changes anything. Yeah, the other thing is I did move the SSDs around again. I was wrong. The SN770 was in the Gen 3 speed slot, and the Hexabyte was in the correct slot. But it's fine. I don't think it matters that much anyway. But um, yeah. So now I have one more slot open that I could run another drive at Gen 3 speeds. But I think 8 terabytes of NVMe storage is plenty. Plus, I have 8 more terabytes of hard drive storage. So pretty well set up there. So anyway, I'll show the results of this at the end of the video. And yeah, I hope you guys learned something. I also see, looking through the footage, the inside of the case is still very dusty, so probably should wipe at least the bottom of it off with a rag or something, just to, you know, make it look a little better. But blowing it out of all the fans and off all the VRM and all that was really the main goal there. So yeah, I'm excited to finally put all these parts in, and excited to be on Team Red. I know a lot of people are not happy with the state of NVIDIA, and you know, I think the 9070 XT is a very good value for what you get, especially compared to the NVIDIA offerings. So that, among other reasons, is the reason I went with the 9070. Yeah, and anyway, I guess that'll be it. So thanks for watching. Well, we got about the same score, so I think everything's running fine. It's just that my card's not overclocked, and I mean, look, this is plenty of FPS for what I'm doing. Now, if I do go to, oh, that's not an option. 4K is not an option. Also, I noticed in here the temperature isn't really climbing. That's the CPU temperature, and that's just because this is the CPU test. So nothing really to worry about there either. So I think this will be a good card, and I'm really excited to have it in.